All right, we are here with the head football coach of the Miami Hurricanes, coming off a record 13 win school record. Coach Mario Cristobal, how we doing?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you having me on the show. And as you could probably imagine, the Canes are full throttle in the off-season workouts.
I got to ask you this because 3 months ago, you had SMU. That's 3 month stretch. 4 ACC games where not only you can't lose, you got to blow teams out to look good as well. So the margin for error less than zero. During that time, you're signing a top 10 high school recruiting class. We know what that all entails and how crazy that is. Then you're waiting on Selection Sunday. Can't control it. Got to watch. Same time, get ready to go on the road. 3 straight games away from the Rock. Top 10 opponents. Sign a top 5 portal class. 33 million watching against Indiana. Then you got to go get your quarterback. Is this, I know you're a grinder. I know you live for this. I know you signed up for this, but is this the craziest 3 month stretch, just nonstop of your career?
Go Canes. Yeah. It's we always were building towards having the opportunity to do things like that, and it's a credit to all the people in the building, from the players to the coaches, support staff, everybody. It's awesome. There really is no complaint. If you should be like happy exhausted, and that's the right kind, right? It's what you want. It's what you live for. Like, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than being a Miami Hurricane and advancing and progressing like we're going. And it leaves you upset. It leaves you with more positive anger, meaning that you want to get back at in the right kind of way, do the right things to improve. But man, so much, I can honestly say a lot of there was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. It was powerful. It was game-changing, difference-making, and a lot to build on, man. It really, it's great to watch those big guys, dancing in confetti and getting ready for the next one and grinding through all kinds of adversity. Really proud of this team, this organization.
Just talking to you offline, you're ready to get right after it. I mean, you don't look like you're ready for a break, even with that 3 month stretch. But before we turn the page, just this group of guys, particularly the seniors, the folks leaving for the NFL, what did they mean for getting this thing back on track?
Yeah, it's when you walk into a situation and you're 5-7, like a lot of those guys did, like it's either run to the fight or you run away from it. These guys ran right into the fight. And so the type of growth that takes place, it's not just regular development. This is like legitimate, like callous, like resilience and a determination that it builds the type of DNA where you really are convinced, you're convicted that you will get it done, that you will find a way, that no matter what's in the way, no matter what obstacles exist, that you're just going to keep going because the people around you have the same mindset. And let's go, man. And I think that they approached every single game as the most excited team. They were determined to out-hit the opponent, really worked harder and improved in some respects. And in others, we still got to work on in pre-snap discipline and post-snap IQ for the most part. And at the end of the day, we found a way to just cut it loose on game day and play Miami Hurricane football. And again, couldn't be more proud of a group of guys. And again, looking forward to a lot of them being selected on draft day.
It's great to be in front of 33 million people during this run. You guys had the biggest non-NFL sporting event in 10 years, right? And just the whole playoff run, you guys were in front of everybody. The negative is NFL's watching your guys play at a high level. Other schools are watching your guys play at a high level. And yet, despite being basically on display for everybody, your roster retention, both keeping guys from the NFL who could have been selected very high and also keeping guys off other rosters, unbelievable. How are you able to keep the roster together despite being on display for the world?
Well, I mean, I think it's a testament to all the people here, to the success the players have had, and then also the trajectory of the program. That's very clear. I mean, we're very honest and transparent in everything that we do. And you know what? I would say this. In terms of the portal, takes two to tango, right? I mean, let's call it what it is. If every single departure is very different. We don't put people's business or dirty laundry out there. Sometimes the roster stacked at that position, they got to go. Sometimes they just don't fit here. Let's find them another place. And sometimes, it's just time, and no matter what, we always feel that we don't judge and we find people an opportunity here or somewhere else. And as long as everybody stays above board and doesn't, try to take shots, and it stays a very smooth process. If someone wants to take shots, well, then good luck. You're going to get it right back. But it's been great. And we believe in helping young people all the time find a place and get better. But we retained all of our starters and took on a bunch more talent in both the form of the portal and high school recruiting. In terms of the NFL, you know what? And there could have been an additional one or two, but, due to eligibility standards, they weren't, expanded like we thought they were, or extended like we thought they were going to be. But we returned some guys that understand clearly the example of an Akeem Mesidor, the example of a Cam Ward, a guy that was projected a little bit later, now has launched themselves into the first round at high levels. And that's a model that, again, you can talk it all you want, but until you prove it, right, it doesn't have much value. And at the end of the day, guys, let's call it what it is. We're in Coral Gables, Florida. I mean, anyone that comes and sets foot on this campus or in this community, they know it's one of one. There's nothing like it. It's just completely different than what anybody else has to offer.
Coach, South Florida recruiting has always been a focus of yours since day one when you got here. I feel like people locally have kind of been in wait and see mode for a while. Is a little bit different now for you walking into these schools, pointing to the product on the field and saying, we're very much closer to where we need to be, and you can kind of help this thing get over the top?
Well, I think upon arrival here in 22, I think that was the most difficult thing to digest. Miami had become not even tier 2, it had become tier 3 in the eyes of some of the more prominent players and some of the people that, have an influence on that. And over time, the guys that believed and the guys that saw the vision, the guys that saw themselves being agents of change, they've changed that perception. They have. And I think Miami for years, for decades, kind of got pushed around a little bit. They got bullied into, not maybe taking the wrong kind of players, ones that don't quite fit Miami, and maybe not having an opportunity to get some of the higher end players, the high caliber ones. And like those days are over. Like there's no time for shenanigans and BS. Like we have a proven product that allows our guys to be complete, just tremendous ambassadors of their families, the university, in this community, to do really well as it relates to, their value from an NIL standpoint, from just a reputation standpoint, a stature standpoint. And so there's so much to offer now that I think the message is really, really clear. We do great business. We do great by the players. They're playing at the highest level for the highest honors, individual honors, you name it. I mean, they're getting them all. And so there's no time for BS as it relates to recruiting. Miami is now that program that has placed itself in a position where elite players should be coming, especially if they're local.
You were the one pushing us around over there in Alabama, getting the Calvin Ridleys of the world and all these guys, man. So nice to have you on this side of the operation.
That was, man, how do I say this? Because I remember all decisions are difficult. And I remember leaving for Alabama. I just, and in no way, man, I'll say this without it, and please don't let this come across as a shock, because it's not. It's just assessment. I don't judge, but I remember being here for a certain amount of time and just feeling, this ain't work. This is not going to work. And the ultimate goal was to be the head coach at Miami one day. And I felt if I didn't go and grow and learn what modern day football had become, well, then I'd be stuck as part of the problem instead of the future part of the solution. Does that make sense? So I went off there and then to the other side of the world and beyond to just keep learning and growing. And I'm still learning and growing, but it was a move that was absolutely critical. But yes, we did take some of your players.
Coach, quarterback room, obviously you have Darian Mensah coming in here, but I think we also have to talk about the room as a whole, because there's some guys coming back. There's another young guy in Darian Coleman in there as well. So how excited are you about just the depth of that room overall?
Yeah, that room has got us like through the roof excited. Just watching those guys out there run around, chuck that football around, and who they're throwing it to. I mean, and who's going to be protecting him and who's running the ball behind him. I mean, it is man, it'd be hard. You'd be hard pressed to find a better collection of people and talent. They can rip it. They really can, and they can extend plays, go off script, do their thing, but they are accurate, great pocket presence, and they all have just a locker room presence about them as well. Great personalities, man. Really excited about that group.
One thing I've heard from NFL people, they talk about building your wide receiver room kind of like a basketball team, right? You got your power forward, you got your point guard, you got different body types. You go out in the portal, you get a guy like Cam Vaughn, longer guy who can go up and get it. You get Vandrevius Jacobs, who is field stretcher to the max, Cooper Barcade, all the things he does, route running, catching the ball. And then, of course, some of the young guys you brought in. It feels like you have a lot of different body types in the room. Is that by design?
It is. And I got to start by saying I'm going to miss C.J. Daniels and Keelan Marion. I absolutely love those guys, man. Those guys were culture changers and game changers. I mean, C.J. Daniels' catch in game one will forever be framed as one of the more iconic catches. His third down catch and run on the screen, against Ohio State. I could go on and on. And then Keelan, man, the way both these guys just unselfish, hard workers. I can gush about them forever, but I had to mention that first because I'm going to miss those guys. I am. Those guys are, man, they're fun and they are hard workers. But you mentioned a couple guys there that could flat out go. And I want to mention the growth of Josh Moore. I mean, Josh Moore, we expect to be an absolute monster. And Dalen Upshaw, before he got hurt, was one of our more productive young players on this football team. And he's going to be back 100% here in a couple of weeks. Actually, I had to stop him from when he was trying to go full speed the other day. I had to pull him off the field. So he's got the right type of characteristics. But then you look at the additions of Milan Paris. I mean, 6'5.5". I think he might be 6'6" already with tremendous speed. And you look at Ty Evans and you look at Samarian Wingo and Van Spafford. I mean, you're looking at a really high-end, explosive, great catch radius, great explosive speed. Like our receiver core has continued to get better and better. And a credit to Coach Beard, and Coach Varner. They've done a really good job with these guys. And, then there's a guy that's kind of decent, is a Malachi Tony guy. He's pretty good.
Coach, defensive line wise, it goes without saying, replacing a lot of production there, but you go out and get one of the most productive guys in the country in Damon Wilson. You get a Jarquez Carter, who you guys were after hard out of high school. Keona Davis, great body type, played a lot at Nebraska. So talk about that group coming in. Again, you're replacing a couple monsters, Jurassic Park, as you call it, right? So that will be tough. But what do you like about this group coming in?
Well, I can't wait to watch the battles with the guys up front, because even though some of them are young and some of them lack experience, you also mentioned some guys with a ton of experience. That's always a great combination. That's been the key to our success or progress over the past couple of years, is a combination of elite young talent with older, mature, experienced talent, and letting those guys go to work together and growing. But yeah, I think of, man, Armando Blunt, who can't wait to watch him get after it, and Marquise Lightfoot developing, and Booker Pickett. How about Hayden Lowe? He never had a chance to go last year. We thought he was one of the more impressive young guys in camp. Third Scroggins is a guy that everybody's got to keep on their radar, because that guy is relentless. And that guy, when he got his opportunities, made some really, really big plays. People forget at A&M he was responsible for that tackle down in the tight red zone. And then you look at, again, the inside guys. You mentioned Keona. You mentioned Jarquez Carter. Justin Scott now in his third year going in. And we loaded up on some really high-end inside guys. Keyshawn Stansel is as explosive as a young guy as you're going to get. Tyson Bacon, he had a couple injuries, so he's rehabbing. He might be a little bit delayed. But between him, Big Fred Saintis, Logan Nagel, the outside guys, and Ashari and DeAnthony Lafayette and Big Chuk, that's what you want it to look like. Guys that have explosive power, have a tremendous wingspan, arm length, relentless motors. Our guys are looking forward to, and then going against those other guys on the offensive line, man. That's hopefully we'll get you guys over there for practice. You can check out a little Jurassic Park action.
Coach, one of the biggest differences from the defense last year and this past year, it felt like the violence, the edge that the team played with overall was different. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons for that, the culture you're building, but guys like a Jacoby Thomas that came in and seemed like they were just looking to hit first, ask questions later. You bring in Thornton, you bring in Conrad Hussey and then some of the guys you've recruited, Pruitt getting more and more time, Dylan Day. Just how important is it to have guys that not only will become more physical in your culture, but bring an edge to the room?
Well, we actually made a tape the other day of physicality and playing, and I said playing with violence. I mean football violence. People have an issue with that word. We're talking about football, so it is what it is. But that's the way we play, and that's what we teach. And we've created a running tape, a teach tape on what that really means, so that we clearly understand the standard. You mentioned a slew of guys right there that are going to it's now on them, and they flashed last year. They flashed at their respective places. And we expect them to not pick up where we left off, but to improve upon where we left off, because we have a lot of fast, physical, explosive, long body types, right? Really high caliber athletes. And now we got to put it all together. Credit to Corey Heatherman, because Corey Heatherman brought with him that culture of playing with that type of an edge. And I think the combination of the simplicity of his verbiage combined with the complexity of the presentations of his defense, while clarity for the guys to be able to cut it loose, that's a dangerous combination when you have good personnel. And he found a way to continue to adapt and put our personnel in the best position to make plays. So our players love him. They trust him. Obviously, the rest of the coaching staff did a great job with him as well. Coach Taylor, Coach Etheridge, Coach Harris. Who else am I? Coach Damian Lewis. Man, there's so many. Coach Terry Jefferson. I mean, there's so many guys in the analyst role that do a good job too, man. We're ready to get better, and we expect to.
So, Coach, last one from me. Just in terms of looking back at Miami, and now you were here for some of it, you weren't here for all of it. It felt like when Miami did have success, the most recent time, again, this was not on you, a lot of guys came in expecting to just jump on the train because, hey, they're already successful when we're coming in. Recruiting kept getting highly rated guys, but the urgency, just the culture diminished pretty quick, and then the results followed after that. What is the challenge of having this success and making sure that the guys you're bringing in who are high-level recruits, top of the class, are coming in hungry and not expecting to just jump on the train and ride other people's success?
No, that's a great question, and honestly, it's the most important aspect of this offseason, because the guys that just left, those guys walked into a 5-7 program and suffered what comes with that, and also made a choice that they were going to change that. And the guys that just got here, they walked into the playoffs and playing in a national championship and never got to feel that. Now, that doesn't mean we judge them or that's nothing negative against them, but like the key to us, and it's been very well documented by people that come out and watch us practice and prepare, we practice at a different level from a demand standpoint, intensity, physicality, finish standpoint. And that's on the adults up in this. There's adults upstairs and downstairs, both players and coaches. But the ones up here, it's on the coaches. All right? Complacency cannot exist, and that's a daily decision. And culture cannot be compromised for anybody or anything. And everyone must understand that the only way to be the best we can be is to increase the level of competition. And also got to understand that the only way that we can accomplish our goals is if we get better every single day. There's no compromising that. Everybody out there has good players. Everybody does, okay? And there's no need for slogans or declarations or tweets and reposts and all that BS. You got to go to work, man. Green Tree is our secret sauce, okay? And the weight room that goes with that. So that's what the focus is on, and it's not for everybody, but I do believe it's for the guys downstairs. And I think we got the right ones, and if not, we'll make sure they become right, or we'll get some more.
Last question for me, Coach, real quick. You've mentioned this now a couple times about the coaches. You have a couple spots on staff here to fill. What's that process like, making sure they fit what you're looking for and they can handle the demands that you're going to ask them in terms of being in this program?
Well, we've been blessed. We have an awesome coaching staff right now. Those guys are incredible. We are very regimented. We work long hours like every coach does. But you have to be someone that's completely in and philosophically understands that we could all be different personalities, like Coach Rabel recently said, but we all have to have the same mentality. You can't have unstable people. You can't have people that are emotionally immature. You got to have legitimate leaders that are just completely immersed and dedicated to teaching at a high level and bringing great energy and that are in the lives of the players. That is part of what, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, man, but that is what I demand. That's what was demanded of me as an assistant coach. Like, you got to have that. Like, you cannot be too cool to do any task. If you do, your ass is going to get fired. I'm just being honest with you. You know, you got to move on from people like that. You know, people sometimes think that they're the secret sauce. The secret sauce is downstairs in the players, and we got to make sure we do right by them to develop them on a daily basis and be involved and go the distance in recruiting every single day and fight for every inch you can get, every first down, every stop, every score, all that stuff. You have to have that 4th and 1 mentality to be a coach here. And the ones that don't, it doesn't work out for them very well, you know, and the ones that do, and luckily we got a building full of people that do, and I'm very grateful for them. The ones that do, they have success, and in turn, it turns into team success.
Well, Coach, just wanted to thank you for taking the time. Thank you for letting us watch some Hurricanes football this season. I know the community's juiced. We do this show every single day. We got people in Africa, Europe, and the Canes fans are just fired up about what they're seeing about the future of the program. And again, I know that's a lot of hard work. It doesn't just happen. So thank you. Thank the staff and all the players, obviously, for a great year. And I'm looking forward to doing it again, man.
Well, I thank you for being there throughout the entire process, because I think one aspect that, you know, I always get, like, you know, Cam always brings me the Reader's Digest version of, you know, some of the stuff that I need to be aware of. And I think what you guys have done really well is you guys have done legitimate, real deal journalism, which means you guys have chronicled and told the story, right? As opposed to what sometimes these young people face. They got to read narratives about themselves, as opposed to understand, hey, program's got to be overhauled. We got to do it like this and take these steps. So I appreciate your honesty and your transparency as well. Let's go keep getting better, and I'll see you guys soon out here.
See you soon,
Yes,
Coach.
sir.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.
And